What's up everybody, how we doing? Today is Friday and just like most of my videos, it is starting out in the garage. However, it won't be here long. So we are actually not working in my garage today. We are heading up to my buddy's house to go hang out with him and help him out on his Civic. So you may have seen in some of my other videos, I did some work on a cylinder head for him, and then I don't think I filmed any of it, but I actually assembled a block for him. And he put the engine together, put it in his car, and it's running. He just needs a little bit of help dialing it in, you know, getting everything adjusted and everything. It runs and drives, lacking a little power. I think you might have the timing off a little bit. I'm just gonna check it out, see what's going on with it, see if we can't get it dialed in, running like it should and everything like that. But first, I gotta grab a couple tools, gotta get some food. I'm hungry, my wife's hungry, and it's Friday, so I'm really happy. I hope you're happy, so stay tuned. I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit.
Yeah, what's coffees again?
All of them. Can I get one 3-finger with a Coke and one box with a sweet tea? Yeah, look at that. Got us some Raisin Canes. Super happy. About to slam on this. Oh, so good. What's up everybody? All right, so we have arrived at my friend's house and everything like that, and we are working on the Y7. So like I mentioned earlier that I had done some head work on this thing. I helped him, I showed him how to lap the valves. We reassembled everything, and then we put the block, helped him put the block together. He assembled the rest. He put it in the car all by himself because I'm a lazy piece of shit. It's too busy with my own stuff to come over to come over here and help him, but he got it in there, he got it running, and we're just trying to dial it out. The valve trim seems a little noisy, so we're gonna go through a valve lash adjustment. And we're also, what else are we doing? Ignition timing. Ignition timing, yeah. So we're gonna set the ignition timing because I'm pretty sure it's off as well, and everything. So we're just gonna, dial it out so it runs good. It's just basically a stock rebuild Y7, and we're just looking for daily drivability. Nothing fancy, but it is very green. Let me show you.
Ricer for life, baby.
So here it is. The engine, it's in the car, it's assembled. We went ahead and pulled the valve cover and everything like that. If you're not familiar, there's some bolts and, it's valve cover. Just look at it. You can pull it off. Either way, we got the motor sitting at top dead center. We're going to measure some valve lash, which involves sticking some feeler gauges underneath here to make sure the gaps are proper. These are your adjusting screws. You got a lock screw, and then you got the adjuster itself. You break torque on it and twist and turn to loosen and tighten your tolerances. Nothing fancy, but I'm going to go through. We're going to check all this, see if we can't get this, verify that it is adjusted properly. And then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go through this, one cylinder at a time. Try to make sure the tolerances are proper, and then, we'll put her back together and we'll set the ignition timing. We'll see if it quiets it down a little bit, and we'll, hopefully everything will be good. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're probably about like 30 seconds into this, and I've already kind of developed a theory of what has happened. So I went to check the clearance on the first cylinder, and let me just show you. So here's our first cylinder, and here's our fourth cylinder. First cylinder, fourth cylinder. So, because of my lazy ass not getting over here and assisting, these are the things that I'm good for. My buddy happened to have gotten a little bit mixed up and just was like, oh, there's cylinder one. So, everything was measured backwards. So, he measured the fourth cylinder as cylinder one, so it's on the exhaust stroke, so it's obviously going to measure the wrong tolerances. So, measuring these are way out. I mean, I already got up to 15, 16 thousandths. So yeah, they're all wonky. So, if you're doing this, just remember, cylinder one is closest to the pulleys, to the belt side, and everything like that. So we're gonna get this fixed. We're gonna get this all dialed in. Hopefully get the lifter noise all good.
And it says 2, 3, 4. Okay, for the people that this is why I shouldn't drink while I do this stuff. That's all I gotta say.
2, 3, 4, but it's all right. That has nothing to do with the orientation of the motor, but it is kind of going to give you a tip that this is going to be where the cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. Either way, we're going to fix it. At least he is a man that admits his faults, and he calls me up and says, hey man, come look at this. I might have done something wrong. No worries, he didn't hurt anything. It's just they're too loose, and that's fine. It's going to cause some noise. We're going to get it dialed in, we're going to get this adjusted, and we're going to take care of it. So, let me get to work, because this is going to take a minute, but let me get to work, we'll get this done, and then we can move on. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? All right, to give you an update, so I've went ahead and I've done cylinders 1, I've done cylinder 3, and now we're on cylinder 4. So just to kind of explain what I was just explaining to him, is when you go to do this, you'll know you're on the right cylinder because all your rockers will have play in them because there's no pressure on the camshaft. So basically it's free to adjust. Now, in his situation where he did it backwards, he would have thought this was number 4, and just for example, these are all tight. And what would have happened and what did happen is, so he thought, oh, these are super fucking tight, I'm gonna loosen these up to spec. So he went ahead and adjusted these to what they should have been by the book, and really what he did is he made them really loose because they actually have pressure from the camshaft on them right now because they're on the exhaust stroke. So it's a false reading. So when you know you're doing it right, if you're on the right one, all your rockers are gonna be loose because there's no pressure from the cam on the rocker itself, so that you can actually set your clearance on that. So like I said, we loosened our lock nut on here, we have our adjusters. We're gonna take our feeler gauge, this is a 9 thousandths, so your exhaust is 9 thousandths, 9 to 11, your intake is 7 to 9. So what I like to do is I take my feeler gauge, I insert it inside there, and then I tighten down the adjuster until I cannot remove the feeler gauge. And once I know that, I know, okay, I'm too tight, and then I just back it out and I set the drag to where I like it, and once I'm happy with it, I just move on to the next one. And I do the same process. I tighten it down until I cannot remove it, which you can see how much I'm adjusting it because it's way loose. So I get it to where I can't remove it, and then I back it off and set the drag. And once I'm happy with it, then I'll go ahead and tighten them down, and then I'll recheck, because you want to re-verify after you tighten them down, because when you tighten the nut, you want to hold it with your screwdriver and do it all at once and try to prevent your adjuster from turning with the nut and increasing or decreasing your tolerance. So double check, double verify, go over it a couple times, make sure everything's good. See you guys. Alright guys, so we got the valve lash all adjusted and everything like that. I got my lovely assistant here re-putting the valve cover on because, you know, all that hard work I just did, you know, I need a break and everything because, whoo, gosh, adjusting valve lash is so hard. And everything, but in all seriousness, it is a very delicate process. So if it's your first time and everything like that, just like me, I've made plenty of mistakes in my learning and my journey through working on vehicles. Take your time, read your manuals, double check and everything like that, and don't be afraid to call on someone if you have any questions or anything like that, because we all start somewhere and we all make mistakes. It's learning from those mistakes that are important. So we're gonna get this valve cover back on. We're gonna hopefully get some things tidied up real quick, and we're gonna start this engine, and hopefully she purrs like a kitten, a lot quieter, because she was pretty loud. So after that, we gotta adjust the ignition timing. We gotta get it set just right so it is dialed in, running cherry, all that stuff, so this thing can get back into service, because, you know, what good's a car if you can't drive it? So stay tuned. Alright guys, so we got it all back together. Look at it looking pretty. And here's the moment where, after all the shit talking I've said, let's see if I know what the hell I'm doing, because, you know, I haven't done this in a while, but let's see if she sounds better. So, go ahead, fire her up. Oh. Listen to that. That is how it should be. Nice and quiet. That's probably the quietest valve train I've ever heard on a Honda, to be honest with you. Sounds amazing. So, there we go. We properly adjusted the valve lash. Everything's sounding way better. So now I'm going to set the ignition timing to get it all dialed in so that it will run properly. But compared to the videos that he sent me, this thing sounds like a brand new car. But I mean, the engine's technically brand new. It's fully rebuilt. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit more work and everything like that. So stay tuned. Failure. We know it all too well. I bet you know it a little bit too. And we are faced with it tonight. For we have come to a point where we just can't finish the car. Alright, so it's up for sale. Anybody want a 4-door Honda with a fresh rebuilt engine? Hit your brother up. I'll make you a killer deal. Title's clean. It's not in my name. You don't have to worry about any of that.
Title's rebuilt.
It's rebuilt. Rebuilt, clean, salvage, rebuild, clean, clean. Totally clean. Anyways, hit me up. All yours. We'll figure it out. But it starts. It's quiet and everything like that. So at least we got the valves adjusted. So the problem is, it's gonna be loud. I'm sorry. But right there, fuck you. Actually, kind of seems like it's working better now. It's still high though. Yeah, there it goes. spinning back up. Yeah, I'd say change that valve. Nice and quiet. Clickety clack like a typewriter. All right, so we got the valves adjusted. That's good. It sounds really good. It sounds like typewriter. It's probably the quietest running Honda I've ever heard. Anyways, we cannot get it to, we can't properly set the timing because you have to have your idle adjusted right. Because if your idle is anything but what it's supposed to be, the timing will change because the ECU has a timing map based on load, RPM, and all the jazz. So if you're too high, the timing will not be right, and you'll set it to what it should, like let's say it's supposed to be 12 before top dead center. In the case of this engine, if it is idling too high and we set it to 12, it messes the whole map up. It's got to be at the right idle speed, which I think it was like 700, plus or minus 50, 700, somewhere around that. Either way, we can't even get it to idle that low. The lowest we got at the idle was 1,000, and that's with the idle screw all the way in. So after chasing around for an hour and a half, in here, that little slot right there, that leads to the idle air control valve. It's just stuck wide open. So what it's doing is it's just letting all this air go into the engine when it should be modulating to maintain an idle, and yeah, it's not working right. So we're left with, gonna change the throttle body, you know, whatever. Get that fixed up, get it idling right, and then we'll re-tackle it later. But hey, the engine's in, it's quiet, it runs good, it wraps quick. Like I did adjust the timing a little bit of a jakey way, which is basically put it in drive, get the idle to drop down as low as I could, and then turn the idle screw all the way in, get it to about 700, and then set the timing. Not the way you should do it, but it did help improve the running of the engine. It's smooth, revs up real quick. So I mean, it's better, but it's not right, and I'm not happy with it, and he's not happy with it.
It's better.
But it is better, but it's not right, and I like to do things right, you know. Even though in the Clutch Kicker Nation garage we do sometimes take some hacks, if I can do it right, I'm going to do it right. So we're going to change the throttle body. Well, he's going to change the throttle body, and then we'll try this all again at another time. But that's going to close out this video. We've been rounding our heads around here for about an hour and a half trying to figure out, I thought it was like huge vacuum leak somewhere. I'm like, there's a vacuum leak somewhere, and there is. It was the idle air control valve. It's letting way too much air into the engine. But I thought it was external. It wasn't until I was like, shit, you know what? I'm taking this intake tube off of here. And when I did, I instantly knew that it had to be the problem. So, whatever. It is what it is. That's the way it is when you work on cars. You never know what you're going to find. But we found it. We'll fix it. We'll get it just right. We'll dial this car in. She'll be running cherry, back on the streets, turning heads, doing all that stuff. You know, whatever. So, to give you a little idea, my buddy, you know, did I get you started on Hondas?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of got him started on Hondas and everything back a long time ago. And honestly, he has sweeter Hondas than I do. I mean, he's got the Ricer Mobile, which was his first attempt. Not quite my taste, but it was his taste at the time, and it was built a long time ago when styling was a little different. So it's got a little bit of the paint scheme, the green and stuff like that. It's cool, not my taste. I convinced him on his second Honda to go with a little bit of a cleaner type build. So he listened to me, and I think it came out pretty sweet. So this is his 2001 Acura GSR. It was a shitty black-red combination of horribleness when he got it. But I told him, hey, do pearl white. Hey, throw on fucking white reps, whatever, and it'll look sweet. And I'll tell you, this car is everything I could want in an Integra. And I wish it was outside so you could see it, but it's really clean. And it's got like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got the pearl in the paint and everything like that. And hidden in here are some fresh wheels for the Ricer Mobile that we're working on. As I call it. So, you know, sticking with the green and black that he has, we got one of our buddies to powder coat these up. And they look nice. He did a really good job. They're Del Sol Fat 5s. So it'll be interesting. It'll be nice. But
Goes with the Scorpion.
Yeah. But I will say, the Integra with the Type R front and everything like that, there was a little bit of a debacle. That's why like the hood Quanta doesn't match right now, as it needs changed because there was a small front end bump. Let's just not get into it. But you know, other than that, this thing is very clean, very nice. I love it. Makes me want an Integra. Either way, I'm getting off here. I'm rambling. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the video. If you don't have one or want one, I don't know where it is because I have a bunch of these and I'm just handing them out like hotcakes. And you can get them for $6 on my website. You got to cop a sticker. All the proceeds from the stickers go straight into the channel. Equipment, supplies, content producing materials, motivation, whatever you want to call it. If you don't have one, cop sticker. If you don't cop sticker, I mean, it doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. Just stick around because you never know what we're getting into. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.